niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater, and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Realest podcast.
What up, we back, man. The realest podcast server. That came in real hot in the headphones.
Did it?
Yeah, it popped a little bit, but
Pause, by the way.
yeah, we've been on a pause.
Pause thing is so funny.
Been on a pause streak. Yeah.
Yeah, pause-a-thon.
Yeah, pause-a-thon. We've been pausing everything the last 2 weeks, man. It's juvenile, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely juvenile.
For those of you that are not, on the Patreon, we did make an announcement the other day. We actually have solidified TRPE weekend. Save the dates coming soon. We're gonna clap that up.
Oh yeah.
Save the dates coming soon for that. That's going to be late August. So look out on, all the social media platforms at official TRPE for those big announcements or whatever. We got 3 events. We got a live show. We got a network signing party. And inshallah, we got a brunch happening on Sunday. To be determined.
Lord is willing. We got a brunch on the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Dre Ali. I talked to Dre Ali over the weekend. He actually gave me some venue suggestions for some future stuff. All of the casinos have event rooms. We didn't necessarily think about that.
That would be right in my alley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be on stage.
Throwing them bones. But yeah, all of them have event rooms and stuff. Rivers and Parks have obviously been promoting shows for a substantial amount of time now, whatever, having, comedians, legacy acts and stuff like that come through. So that's an option for us in the future. And then also shout out to my man Dylan from the Queen who hit me back. That's going to be a venue that we're going to utilize a lot more going forward, considering the emergence of our fan base and our audience in Delaware. We're going to be utilizing that venue probably for like the end of the year, maybe like TRP Awards. We'll do it at the Queen, making a big deal.
That sounds official. I just want more reasons to get suits. Man.
Yeah,
I look good in a suit.
Listen, I already got my suit picked out for the brunch.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm down to like 2 colors. One is sort of like that statue all the way on the left. In the middle, I don't want to say what it is on camera. And then another one is closer to like that you see on the screen.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I'm pinpointing those 2
Playing
colors. Playing with them colors. Colors. Like Ice-T said. Hey, real quick, this has nothing to do with what we talking about. You ever notice you find the dumbest videos or things to watch at 2, 3 in the morning?
All the time.
Last night, I'm on my Explore page, and I saved it just because I wanted to show it to you while I'm here.
On air.
You know what I'm saying? I'm up late, 2:30 in the morning. Lakers lost. We're going to get to that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just scrolling my motherfucking Explore page, and I see a video, and I know I shouldn't have clicked on it. You know what I'm saying? You ever see something
What made you know I shouldn't click this?
Because the title of the video is Rare Footage of Michael Jackson in the Studio with C Murder. and I know. I know Michael Jackson was never in the studio with C Murder.
You know what I watched last week in the same vein as this? Justification for Michael Jackson being part of the East Coast non-O Crips. I watched it.
I clicked this fucking video. Do you want to hear this shit?
Yes.
This is what played. And I got kicked out of the bedroom behind this shit because I laughed so loud.
This is any video. This is the We Are the World tape. Like niggas boosted the We Are the World footage and put.
It was Mike Jackson the We Are the World. And some random nigga singing "Fuck the Other Day" or something.
Like this is awful.
I don't know why that shit made me laugh the way it did, but I'm telling you,
because it's childish. That's why.
I was dying when I see that shit last night.
Fucking childish, man.
Fucking immature as shit, man.
But yeah, late August, TRP before Made in America, TRP weekend.
Oh yeah,
lock it in. Can't save the date yet because I didn't tell y'all the date. Patreon know the date.
Yeah.
If you're not on Patreon yet, go to patreon.com/
They can get first dibs at the tickets.
official TRP. They get first dibs at everything, man. Patreon, they get exclusive access, exclusive information, free merch items here and there. Like, it's like a lot of benefits to being on the Patreon, and we are actually running a sale right now. If you pay for a yearly subscription, it's 15% off any tier. That comes right off the bottom line. And if you live in any tax-free state, it's tax-free.
There you go.
Shout out to that. Shout out to y'all. Let's get with the shits.
Let's do it.
So, we've been talking about a lot of sports lately. I know. Sorry, ladies. I apologize. We've been talking about a lot of sports, but it's relevant. It's that time of the year we're winding down. We're almost out of basketball. Mm-hmm. Baseball is just starting back up, but y'all don't care about that shit until October, or unless the Phillies in the World Series. Yeah. Football is very, very over. Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. We didn't even talk about that. It's a lot that went on with the NFL offseason or whatever. A lot of movement. Shout out to the Eagles. They were huge in the draft and free agency. Picked up DeAndre Swift. Now I got to compete with this nigga for hoes in real time, not from Detroit. So shout out to that. You know what I'm saying? Those, if you know, you know. So, so we got a few different things we can talk about. I actually have it down bad with Chad for the first time in a while. I want to talk to you about the new White Men Cant Jump.
I know that's down bad.
I have a review for y'all with the.
You watched it?
Yes, starring Jack Harlow and Shawn from Power. Yes.
Right, yeah.
Who they're apparently trying to make him a movie star, probably since Jonathan Majors out here slapping hoes with his dick in taxi cabs, allegedly. So we could talk about some more sports stuff. I got a wild sports joint. I know you didn't hear this because I was deep in the internet when I found this joint. Or we could talk about the car show beef.
I'm gonna save that because that's my y'all weird for the week.
Okay.
I want to start with a I guess. Realizing that LeBron is like full of shit is like I gotta start.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
It's like, bruh, like, so the Lakers got swept. I did not see that coming. I thought they were gonna at least be competitive, and to be fair, they were competitive in every game. They just
even the one where they were getting blown out, then they closed the lead. They were competitive.
They just couldn't close it at the end. And, I said it before. Of course, my Twitter isn't there anymore, but I've been tweeting it for 3 years. Nikola Jokic is really that. He's really that
Let's
good.
clap it up for Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic is really, really that good.
He is him.
He's him. And one thing LeBron did say last night before it went completely off the rails was Nikola Jokic is one of the few players where I see him play basketball and it makes me think what it would be like to play basketball as him because he's that good. And it's just like, as a 7-footer who's 300 pounds and isn't muscular and is slow and flat-footed, his IQ and ability to just put the ball where it needs to be all the time.
Bless you. And also, underrated part of his game is keeping the defense off balance.
Bruh.
Even with, like, his movement without the ball or his positioning or where he sets up at for screens or for shots or whatever like that, that's a very, very underrated part of his game. There was a play last night where they showed where they had numbers, Nuggets coming down on a break or whatever, and Jokic streaking basically collapsed everybody onto him and left Michael Porter Jr. open for like a wide three. That was the first joint that put them up for the game.
Even when they put Lonnie Walker into the pick and roll and Joker hit Caldwell Pope for the three, like Lonnie Walker just wasn't smart enough to realize like, oh no, he's really him with the rock.
Yeah.
And he converged and Joker's like, nigga, I got you, you know? And he had a couple moments in the series. The three he hit over AD. And then he did it again last night off 1 foot with time expiring on shots where it's just like...
Had the presence of mind to get the other foot over the line.
Ground. Yeah, like Joker is him. He's really, really that good. And, I'm not going to hold you. I want to see the Nuggets win because I'm not going to lie. Let me pause what I'm saying. Permitting the Heat get past the Celtics where they're up 3-0.
It looks like they are.
I really don't care who wins between the Heat and the Nuggets because either one makes the Sixers and Embiid look a little ridiculous. Where it's like, Nikola Jokic essentially took the last 2 weeks of the season off and let Embiid just run away with the MVP because y'all been complaining about it for the last couple years to the point where now he done stepped into the playoffs and he's elevated what he's doing. And I said it today to Jules. I'm like, yo, for all of the years that LeBron made 28, 8, and 8 normal, Joker is doing 30, 10, and 10.
Yeah.
And that's becoming normal. Yeah. His over-unders yesterday going into the game was 27.5 points, 13.5 rebounds, 10.5 assists. Those are his over and unders for betting.
Yeah.
27, 14, and 11. That's what they're predicting. And you know what he went out there and did last night? 30, 14, and 11. He really went out there and hit every one of them.
Hit the line. Crushed the lines.
You know, and Joker's phenomenal. So either way, if he gets it, it's like, yeah, he's the best big man in the league now, just styling. And if the Heat get it, Tobias over me?
Over me?
Over me? Like, so either way, it's just kind of like, damn, you know, is what it is. But the Lakers got swept. And LeBron James for the series never really had a game where he was just out of control balling. It was a team situation. AD had very good moments. Austin Reeves is going to get paid. Hachimura is going to get paid. I got another silent sleeper. Dennis Schroeder is going to get paid. Dennis Schroeder showed, yo, I'm good on defense. I know how to, like, literally it got to the point in this series where they had to, like, bench D'Angelo.
Yeah, D'Lo became unplayable.
And legit, whenever Jamal Murray came back in the game, put Schroeder in the game. Yesterday, if you watched the nonsense with D'Angelo Russell, where he let Schroeder pick up that second foul for no reason at the end of the first, where it's like, you supposed to take the foul to give. Yeah. Not him. And it's just like, Schroeder's really, really good. He's gonna he turned down to 80, and that's all people going, hang on.
Yeah, he ain't getting to 80, but he gonna get paid.
He gonna get 3 years, 33 is 28, some shit like that. Yeah, he gonna make some money.
I think the full the Lakers aren't eligible to pay him the full mid-level exception, but somebody is. I think the full mid-level exception is 13.5 or some shit like that.
They said Austin Reeves, the Lakers could offer him 50.
Yeah, but they saying now that they're prepared to go over the cap to re-sign him and Hachi because they got bird rights on both of them.
Right, because they restricted. Yeah. But anyway, the Lakers got swept, and the Nuggets, like I said, just played phenomenal. Jamal Murray back from the ACL. Michael Porter Jr. was awesome. Aaron Gordon down the stretch.
KCP.
What's he doing in there? Like
remodeling.
Yeah. But the talk of the whole entire sports world was what LeBron got up there and said after the game. And I saw right through that bullshit.
Diva.
And it's just like, y'all know I'm a LeBron fan. Everybody knows it. I got that goddamn clip I can't escape right now. LeBron's my guy. But LeBron is the diva of all divas. And he knew what he was doing last night in saying that.
Yeah, shifting the narrative. Because if he doesn't say that, it's just like, oh, you got swept again and all of that nonsense. This be the joint for me that kills me. When they say, especially him, yeah, I don't pay attention to the media. Yes, the fuck you do. You are a part of the media.
You are a part of this shit. You dropped the goddamn media clip for Melo. What are you talking about? Bleacher Report is the LeBron report. Like, cut that shit out. So he gets up there last night and says, yeah, I got a lot to think about. And he's like, what do you mean you got a lot to think about as far as, like, the offseason? And he's just like, yeah, no, as far as playing, period. And it's just like, whoa, so the whole sports world now is like, well, what if LeBron retired? Could this be? And it's just like, that's a corny-ass narrative, man, to kick off. Because
he said he was in the back talking to Mav, was like, I gotta get these niggas off my back. What we gonna say, baby?
Why the fuck on earth? When we watch Jordan, when we watch Kobe, you're a bigger diva than all of them. Your name is King James. Yeah. You have chosen one tattooed on your back. Why, Dwayne Wade, why the fuck would you leave basketball without a farewell tour? The most obnoxious farewell tour ever known to sports history. You literally passed Kareem for the fucking scoring record, and they brought Kareem out on the court, and y'all had a 16-minute celebration. And Shea and the Thunder was like, yo, we up 11.
Yeah.
Can we
wrap
finish
this shit up?
Wrap this shit up. Y'all can party after we cover the spread. Can we finish this shit? So it's like, to even let that get thrown out there or be a thing is like, nigga, you know you not retiring. Fuck the money. Never mind the fact that you got 47 guaranteed next year and a $50 million option the year after that. Never mind that. But it's like, good and goddamn well, LeBron King as James ain't leaving basketball like that. With no tour, with no nothing. Yeah, the fuck right.
Not in your life.
Not in your life. And I just thought that was just like...
And he's going to pass, 40,000 points next season.
Bruh. Like, it's like for no reason did that have to go out there. To realize that's all... That, and I fell asleep last night with ESPN I woke up this morning, ESPN was on, and the first thing I saw was Lakers doing a sign and trade for Kyrie Irving. I was like, how long have I been asleep? What year is it?
Who was Kyrie signed to? Last time I checked, he was an unrestricted free agent. Like,
I was like, what the hell is going on, man?
Send D-Lo to the Mavs.
Yo, man, but I wasn't a big fan of that, and I'm just like, yo, man, we should be talking about the Nuggets and the fact that Joker hit a record that Wilt Chamberlain had since the goddamn 70s. I'm like, that should be the narrative, how great the Nuggets have figured it the fuck out without a process.
First finals in 47 years, literally built through the draft. Jokic a second-round pick. Michael Porter Jr., just either low lottery or just out of the lottery. KCP was a free agent pickup. Jamal Murray was one of their top draft picks, top 4 pick, I believe, the year that he came out. He battled like multiple knee injuries, quad injuries, all of that shit to come back to be the elite point guard that he is now. Somebody that can absolutely put the ball in the basket and is a true floor general and commands a lot of attention. Picking up Bruce Brown in the offseason proved to be, a vital pickup. Aaron Gordon's ascension with that team and literally becoming like a reputable top 10 power forward in the league playing for them. And it's like all of that got put on display, and they're going to the finals for the first time in franchise history, and nobody's talking about this shit.
No.
It's super disingenuous and super annoying, and it's like, this is the shit that people that like are detractors of like Laker Nation talk about when they say like, yo, the Lakers are shitty. Why even when they're bad, why are they dominating the news cycle? They lost. Why are we talking about the Lakers? Let's talk about the team that won. But the media is so fixated on LeBron James and Lakers and Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and Jenny Buss and Kurt and Linda Rambis and just all this whole soap opera around this team that they have to talk about them.
Yeah, man. I just sat last night and I picked up on it immediately. I'm like, don't do it, Bron. Don't. I seen it coming. I was like, he went up there with no AD. I'm like, here we go. I'm like, I can see it coming. And then sure enough, he said that, and then
drop the R word.
The media world just went crazy. And I guess because we in it now, that you kind of just see narratives and understand, like, yo, it's a lot more Farfanugan than it is like real life at times when it comes to what you see.
LeBron gonna be in motherfucking Tulum before they realize what he did. They be like, wait a minute.
Yo, straight up.
Pulled the wool over our eyes. I saw a Trae Young rumor this morning. I'm just like, yo, we getting real desperate at this point, because what do y'all even have to offer Atlanta to take back Trae Young?
Straight up.
Who's a top 6 point guard in the league or whatever.
Yo, Trae not making an All-NBA team this year was kind of nuts to me.
Yo, people hate Trae.
They hate the little nigga.
All the players hate the nigga.
He's the Ernie McCracken of the NBA.
They hate this man.
And he led the league in like total assists.
Yeah, he was like 27 and 11.
Oh, Trae was balling this year. They took Boston to 6 games in the first. It's just like he made no All-NBA team. And to see 2 people on the first All-NBA team that didn't even go to the playoffs was wild as shit.
Yeah. I think Shea clutch time stats is what pushed him up.
I mean, Luka's stats at the end of the day is the reason he's there. But I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's like you know how they always try to like say that the Mavs beat out the Hawks in that trade. And I'm just like, I'm here to tell you they all got this even deal. Like, because at the end of the day, they've done essentially the same thing. They had that bubble year where they made it to the Western Conference or second round?
I think they made the Western Conference Finals. I feel like one of them years they made the Western Conference.
The Lakers beat the Nuggets then in the second round when AD hit that shot, and then they played the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals. Okay, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Pick your poison. I think Trae Young's pretty good, but let me ask you this: wrapping up basketball real quick. Do you think it's over tonight with the Celtics and the Heat?
Oh yeah, for sure. Jimmy Butler, and we talked. It's crazy because we did some shows on Saturday or whatever on Patreon. We released them on Sunday, and pretty much everything that we said on the show on shows on Saturday came true on Sunday. Whatever. Where Sunday and Monday, where Matt was basically like, "Yo, I can see the Lakers getting swept." I'm like, I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep, 4-1, whatever. So you was spot on about the sweep at the point where it was 2-0, whatever, going into.
You watch the first 2 games, you just realize it's like y'all have to play perfect basketball. They don't.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Like, think about it. Jamal Murray didn't have good first 2 games, but then when he had a good game, it's like, oh, this is really over. So it's like,
can't do shit.
Whereas like the Lakers essentially like everybody was clicking and y'all still. Last night, the Lakers legit had 73 points in the first half, and LeBron had 31 at halftime. They were up 15 points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they lost that game.
It's bad. It's very, very bad.
Lost the shit, and literally it went the other way on a cover. You know, the Lakers was like 3-point favorites. The Nuggets won by 3. Yeah. So it was just bad all the way around. Like.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of stuff that we talked about, came to fruition or whatever. And I said on one of those shows, I said, yo, Jimmy Butler has a way of just imposing his will on the opposite team and just taking over a game where it's like he's just doing everything. Like we were literally watching the replay of game 2 at that time or whatever as we was recording. And you just see him making these awkward swipes at the ball and stealing it. Then you see him come down the court and take the worst form 3-pointer of all time, and then shit goes in.
My favorite tweet. So are you familiar with what happened in the series? The Grant Williams shit with him?
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know, Grant Williams got in Jimmy Butler's face, and then after that, when that happened, the Heat were down 9, and then they wound up winning that game on like a 20-4 run and shit. And people creating like the memes and the tweets, and it was like Jimmy Butler after Grant Williams got in his face, and somebody found a video of Jimmy Butler like as a young boy going to play golf, and he's walking on the golf course carrying his bag. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to whip your ass now." I see that shit the other day. It was fucking dying.
Y'all ass down.
I gotta find that fucking. That shit had me in absolute stitches, man. But yeah, Jimmy Butler really is all in it.
Playoff Jimmy Butler is a thing. If let me ask you this: if playoff Jimmy Butler wins the championship, is he over Kawhi? Is he over 2019 Raptor Kawhi?
As a career?
No. Just in a vacuum of like a playoff run.
Kawhi playoff run was nuts.
It was nuts.
That joint was crazy.
He had the miracle shot.
Niggas was running around saying Kawhi was the best player on the planet. They said he was better than LeBron, better than KD.
They were calling him Kawhi Jordan.
I remember that. Kawhi run was crazy. I don't know. That's tough.
Only thing that I think differentiates the two is that the Raptors were a higher seed naturally. They won 60 games, 58 games or some shit like that year.
Yeah, they were.
So they were a higher seed. So, Jimmy being able to do it from the play-in would be, obviously out of this world. And then taking out a second 1 seed to do it would be very, very, very impressive.
The top 3 recent playoff runs. What do you got?
Kawhi Jordan.
Okay.
Steph last year.
Okay.
And so when you say recent, how far back are we going? 10 years?
I mean,
5 years?
Not 5.
Because if we go back 10 years, then you're talking about the LeBron 3-1 comeback. That's number 1.
I think that's number 1.
Yeah.
All right, how about this? Your top 3, anytime. Playoff runs.
All right. LeBron, to me, please don't get bad, but fuck you if you do. To me, the LeBron 3-1 comeback victory against the 73-9 Warriors is the greatest NBA championship victory of all time.
I'm right there with you.
That's number 1. That to me, I believe that all NBA championships are not created equal. And with that in mind, that one is, if we had a point system as far as degree of difficulty, what you achieve, how much you average, how the results bear it out, betting odds and all of that, that championship is probably worth 3 to 4 championships in the overall scheme of things. So that's number 1. The Lakers, the 2002, as a whole unit, the Lakers 2000-2001 season when they beat the 76ers, they went 15-1 throughout the playoffs. And they just obliterated everybody in the West. And they lost opening game to the Sixers, never looked back, pretty much blew them out every other game, the entire remainder of that finals. So the Lakers as a unit, 2000-2001 is the second greatest. And I really, really like what Kawhi did, man, with that Raptors run, because it was completely improbable. First championship in the team's history. He hit the miracle shot. He did catch some luck in the finals, so it's like that might knock it down a little bit. But it's like that, and then Steph's recent playoff run, especially with how he turned on and just obliterated Boston last year, was very, very impressive also.
I'm trying to find that video. I can't find it. Best playoff runs. LeBron in 2018, even though he didn't win the championship.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. 2018, LeBron to me was the best player we've ever seen. He was just he was like hulking over everyone.
Ferocious.
And if you look at remember that year he had 2,200 points, he had 750 assists, he had 700 rebounds. He was just out of his mind, out of control. First round against Indiana. Remember he hit the fucking three-pointer, blocked the shot, hit the three-pointer, had the moment standing up on the scorer's table. Then the second round against Toronto, the Raptors. That was the LeBron type shit. He just completely dismantled the organization and kind of forced them into the Kawhi Leonard shit. Next round against the Eastern Conference Championship against Boston, took them to Game 7. Remember, they was down 3-2, hawked on them niggas, and just single-handedly destroyed them. And then even in the finals that year, the first game, he had, 51, 8-8. And J.R. Smith, remember the dumbass shit? And it's just like, that's been like the thing of his career. Like, we there and y'all just mentally somewhere else. But that 2018 run was out of control. Dirk Nowitzki, 2011.
Let's clap it up for Dirk.
Y'all know Dirk is my favorite player through high school. That championship, to me, is one of the most respected championships, and it kind of falls in line with what I'm going to say for my last one. When you talk about the three-headed, like the triangle of like success in basketball, he beat him. He swept Kobe and the Lakers. He beat Kevin Durant and the Thunder. And then in the fucking finals, he beat the Heatles. He beat LeBron. Hell of a playoff run. And for me, third joint is Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons for 1989. Isaiah with the ankle, having to overcome that shit. The Pistons beat the Celtics and Larry Bird in the semifinals. Eastern Conference Finals, they went 7 games with the Bulls and got Mike and Scotty and them out of there, and then they won the championship over the Lakers and Magic Johnson. So it's like, those for me probably the 3 best playoff runs. Like,
like it.
It could be easy to say one of the Jordan, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They never really had like competition to me that I saw.
Yeah, that's why they're not on the list to me, because it's like there's something to be said for beating the best team versus being the
not even necessarily
being
one
the best
team, but just like every round, it's just kind of like, y'all not, you know what I mean? Like, they not no match for y'all. Like, so it's kind of like y'all just bowling over motherfuckers. Yeah. Like, honestly, that's why I don't really look at the Lakers of 01. Like, they were just kind of like obnoxiously better than everybody else.
I it's high on my list because that was when the West was the gauntlet. You had Portland, you had Sacramento, you had Dallas beginning to emerge a little bit. You had those that wasn't, the Phoenix teams weren't developed yet, but like there was a year in the West where like 4 teams won 58 games or more.
I think the first year the Lakers won the chip, they weren't number 1 in the West.
Yeah.
I think it was Portland.
Yeah.
I think.
It was like a half a game or some shit like that.
No, I don't even think it was that thing. The Lakers was like the 3rd seed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
But that's when they used to do that weird seeding shit where it's like if you even if you had a better record than somebody, if you didn't win your division, then you got knocked down. You couldn't be the 2 seed or whatever like that.
I'm about to tell you right now. 99 to 2000. Oh no, the Lakers was number 1 for that, John.
99, 2000. Yeah, no, it was definitely one of them years. They was like number 3 or whatever. But yeah, they used to do that. The NBA used to do this weird shit where it's like the division winners automatically, the 2 top division winners with the most wins automatically got the 1 and 2 seed, and then they would seed you down based on record from there, whatever like that. Not the division, conference winners or whatever. So it's like you had like the Atlantic Division and all of that or whatever. The Pacific Division, like that was like a big thing. That shit is like a wrap now.
Yeah, the Spurs and the Kings. I know I wasn't tripping. Lakers, yeah. I mean, like,
Lakers
that was the
third.
01 season.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I know they wasn't the number one that year. It was the 2001 season, not 2000. But, like, yeah, for me, like, they were just, you know, Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going to beat all y'all. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Enough sports. Let's get into some nonsense.
Yeah. We got for the first time ever.
Put my shades on.
I don't think they've ever done it at Meekum Auto Auction.
Listen, can I let me just start at the top, man. My y'all weird for this week is DJ Envious and Colonel Richard Ross.
DJ Envious.
These two niggas, man.
These two 50-year-old men.
50-year-old. Yo, Kev said it the other night. Kev was on my crib. Kev was like, yo, you weren't lying. It really is just beef all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That's all the fuck we know. Rap beef, podcast beef, car show beef,
poet beef.
It's just beef all the time. And it's just, you know what I did the other night? I went and looked up what percentage of American breakdowns for vegetarians. Did you know African Americans is the smallest percentage of vegetarians in America?
Yeah.
I said I could believe it because ain't no beef. Like, that's all niggas know is beef, dog.
Straight negativity at all times.
Rick Ross and DJ Envy have somehow come to odds with each other over their car shows. Neither one of them are Meekum. Neither one of them are Barrett Jackson. Neither one of them are the DuPont Registry. Somehow, some way. Barrett Jackson got live auctions, online auctions, doing whatever they want. Meekum got car weeks in 9 different cities. They got their big one in Monterey that I'm probably going to go to later this year. Never any of this. You two niggas can't invite niggas with their whips to your house without somehow ending up dissing each other's wives, children, criminal history, and it's just like...
job history.
Dog, it's just, in the words of Jermaine Hopkins, a.k.a. Steel, don't you get tired of this shit?
No.
Like, don't you get tired of the beef, dog? Unbelievable, man.
The overinflated sense of ego that exists with, within a lot of successful black men that are in the purview of the public, always finds a way to rear its ugly head. And it's like people take the smallest little comment as like a slight and then use it as a battery to go and cut WWE promos. And it's like, yo, at some point you would think that somebody would be prepared to just look the other way or be like, oh, no, that ain't no big deal. That's such and such. That's my man. Like, it's just like they take the littlest thing and just go as far as a football field. And it's just like, yo, this is goofy. The origin of all of this was Ross was on Drink Champs with Brett Barish, who's the owner of Sovereign Spirits, the creator of Ace of Spades Champagne, the creator of Douce Cognac, currently owns Bumbu Rum, Bel Air, all of the Bel Air products and all of that, McQueen and Frog, I think whiskey or whatever, Vion, whatever the hell that is. We actually had a sponsorship with them not too long ago. So it's like, he's on there and he's talking about, his car show and what's going to be happening and this and this and this. And Nori, just being Nori, wasn't nothing behind it or whatever. Wasn't no funny shit. Wasn't trying to get a rise out of Ross. Was just like, oh yeah, no, because Envy got his car show coming up too, right? And all Ross said was, Envy, in true Ross fashion, Envy's not on my level.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about Envy. He's not on my level. And the next morning that the Breakfast Club aired, WWE promos.
Yeah, niggas went full King of the Ring. Talk about your song.
Is this camera on me? Like, niggas went full, like, Jerry the King Lawler, Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
You know what's the most interesting thing about the wrestling promo and how Stone Cold, like, blew it out of the water and became Stone Cold?
Yeah.
You know that almost didn't happen?
Yeah.
Like, did you ever really get into the
story?
story?
Paulie Dangerously talked about it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Triple H who won King of the Ring, but Vince McMahon was mad about the whole
with the click
shit.
Yeah.
And so he moved Austin into winning the King of the Ring. And Austin his lip got fucked up. So when his lip got fucked up, they went in the back and stitched him up. Was like, yo, you need to go do a promo. And he was like, so with the lip shit, he couldn't really talk.
Yeah.
So he came out and literally as he was coming out, he beat Jake the Snake. And Jake the Snake walked past holding the Bible. And that's where he said, talk about your Bible, talk about your Psalms. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. Yeah. That's how this shit happens. And it's just like, yeah, if he don't beat Jake the Snake, if his lip ain't fucked up, we might not get that. And it's crazy as fuck when you really think about it.
Turn to the greatest phenomenon
greatest
of wrestling
promo in history. Yeah, like that's just nuts. But that's really what be happening now with it. And that's the craziest part about all these different beefs. These beefs don't really like become elaborate beefs or go into the next level of it.
Yeah, they don't manifest themselves in any other ways.
We don't even get a steel cage match. All we get is the promo. Yeah. That's it. It's just promos all over the place.
Because inherently, everybody understands like the rules of engagement, and it's like, yo, once you cross a certain line, I have to kill your ass on camera. And because these are all successful black men, Envy worth in excess of 10 to 20 million, Ross worth in excess of 45 to 75 million, like, y'all are not going to come to blows and fuck up the hip-hop culture, and then everybody be looking at y'all like two idiots over a car show.
Over a Durango sitting on 24s. Like, this is just dumb. Like, yeah.
Oh, because that's the demon Durango.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's not going to happen or whatever the case may be. And it's like, you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Envy, you are not on Rick Ross's level with these cars, my brother. Like, I like Rick Ross.
When they say not on the level, what
volume, quality of the vehicles that you have? Rick Ross got a fucking Mansory Phantom just sitting in the front of his house that he's never driven.
I'm not gonna lie, you know, I'm a truck fanatic. You know, Dunbar gets mad at me. I love dualies. I always say that's probably what I'm gonna get when we get all this shit squared away. I want a big ass dually. Rick Ross's dualies are out of this fucking world.
Custom cars and cycles. He got monster trucks.
That's what I'm saying.
On
his
land.
Truck shit is nuts. But I will say this. I've seen Envy in quite a few different Ferraris. Like, his Ferrari shit is nuts.
Envy got some shit.
So I didn't know if he was saying he's not fucking with me as far as like the car show level. Because I do feel like Rick Ross's car show has like become the premier urban thing as far as that. Yeah. But I will say, like, you know, Funk Flex is like a nigga.
He's the godfather of the urban car show.
You know, even down to like, Funk Flex had to deal with Expedition, you know, and Snoop had to Snoop DeVille and all these different things. Like, excuse me. So I didn't know exactly what they were saying as far as like car collections or car show volume and the...
Like, Ross went in his garage the other day and showed 457 Chevys. Like, it's a different level with him.
Ross has... If I could pick
He checks every era of car shit.
Y'all have heard me say it. Like, I actually have a list that I keep in my... I be using my notes. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays. Of course, I can't fucking find it. Here we are. Not my shared notes in that... I got my goddamn.
You know you can just go to the top to the search bar and just search what you're looking for. The more you know.
Yo. What if I didn't label it with a title?
Then you might be fucked up. Then you got to figure out a keyword that's in it in the body of the note.
Okay. What would be in there?
All right, we're struggling right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I can't figure this shit out.
Yeah, we're struggling right
now. But
I
have a list of all the things on it, and it's a lot of old schools. Like, I always said I want a 63 split window Corvette. I want a 67 GTO. I want a 70 Chevelle SS. Like, I like the old school thing. So, yeah, when I look at Rick Ross' car collection, every time he posts some shit on the gram, I'm like, damn, that's hot. Damn, that truck is money. Oh, damn, he got that. That's with a 454 and Aria. Like, so, yeah, I like that kind of shit. Whereas, like, somebody, like, who has a bunch of high-end sports cars, that's not necessarily my lane. I'm a big man. I'm not getting like, I love Porsche, but I know I'm not getting in many Porsches. Right. So, you know, it all comes down to preference. But I think either one of them just screaming and hollering at each other. Well, y'all both black, y'all both rich, and both got a lot of cars. How about y'all just have a car show together?
No.
And that be the most biggest car show.
No. That's too mature.
Yeah.
we could why come together and collaborate and share resources and make this shit huge when we could just argue on the internet for weeks on end?
Yeah, my thing is, if I collaborate with you and act mature, how will we beef?
How will we beef and cut the WWE promos?
No need for a promo now.
The promo would be positive promo.
Yeah, now
can't have any positivity in my mix.
Now my Instagram interaction ain't what it is.
I need an adversary.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
So it's just one of them things where it's like, yo, they're both doing what they're doing. Envy's got a specific editorial view for his car show. He's doing one in Memphis in collaboration with the Dolph Museum or whatever, and all Dolph cars and all that's going to be on display at his car show. He's doing another one in Houston with Trade of Truth, New York versus Houston, whatever. And everybody's winning, everybody's successful, everybody's making money. Envy's got a shitload of real estate. Ross just bought $5 million of real estate for no reason from Meek Mill. Like, motherfuckers is doing great. And it's like, with that in mind, that's the annoying part in all of this, that it's like, yo, if I was doing as great as either one of y'all, a nigga couldn't dare get me to argue on the internet.
Yeah, not on the internet.
A nigga can't get me to argue on the internet now.
Yeah. How about it?
And it's like, yo, it's almost like y'all have nothing better to do. It's almost like the wing stops and the thighs are just cooking themselves. Like, you don't have nothing better to do, man.
Yo, man, thigh stop killed me with that commercial.
For me, where the shit got particularly strange, yesterday, Envy came. Oh. No, Envy came to work. Dressed like a cop.
Yeah.
Which was ultra strange to me because if y'all don't know this, I'm here to tell you, Envy was literally raised by the police.
His dad was a cop.
His dad was the cop.
Right.
So to make fun of someone that you believe was in law enforcement for whatever his reason, which they still never have been fully disclosed or understood or whatever. So you basically making fun of Ross for having a job for 6 to 12 months. When again, I'm here to tell you, I know a lot of gangsta ass COs. I know a lot of crooked ass COs. How do you think all of this shit gets into jails?
Yeah, I know a couple bus drivers. Let's just say they work for San Diego bus company that'll give you
so the whole thing of like job shaming someone and attempting to make it like they less of a man or less of a gangster because of their job, that's how I know you ain't lived a certain life, because you ain't interacting with these people to understand what really goes on.
I think that's just some like new age shit that go on. I like back in it, like, you ever watch like a Bronx Tale? Like, remember Sonny ran the neighborhood, but fucking what was the kid's name? Cologio. His dad was a bus driver, and his dad straight stepped to him like, "Look, I respect you, know what you is, but this is my fucking son." Like we got respect for each other. No matter what you do, no matter what I do, that's kind of just the way it works. So it's like, it's one of them things where, I mean, think about it. You got the whole "would you date a bus driver?" It's just, that's just earth where we are.
But I just find it strange where it's like, how do you make fun of somebody for allegedly being law enforcement when you were raised by Carl Winslow? That shit don't even make no sense to me. Like, you grew up with Law and Order. You knew your automatic default was, I'm gonna tell my dad he the police. So to turn around and try to make that like a thing where you trying to shit on somebody for being a CO, when 9 times out of 10, those are the most crooked niggas in the jail, even more crooked than the niggas that's locked the fuck up. It's just strange to me. And we talked about on the show with Clint, hip hop beefs. Did you present some new information? You rehashing a 15-year ago trope that didn't work for your boss, for 50 Cent. When 50 tried it, it didn't work. Nobody gave a fuck. Yeah. He had to resort to going and trying to take the nigga baby mom out and this and this and this. And then that failed because you leaked the sex tape and got your dumb ass sued. Yeah. So you taking advice on the art of war from a nigga that already lost to this nigga. Nobody's using their heads here.
Damn.
You feel me?
Yeah, man, well, you scored 2-3 points.
Nobody's using their heads here, and it's like it's all emotional and knee jerk and all of that. And it's like, and I think on the flip side, I think what Ross did was classless, bringing the man, wife, and his kids into it.
Once that's for me where it's just like,
because now I gotta clap you on camera.
Yeah, it's going somewhere else. Like the whole, again though, this is like, we should all know less about each other. The whole not orgasming for 20 years or whatever. It's just like, when Ross said it, I'm just like, oh yeah,
that did happen. You wore the white satin suit jacket on the couch with one of the Maori sisters, and looking ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is why we should probably just know less about each other. We should just like.
It's all a mess.
It's all a mess. We should just like the cars, and that's just it.
it's a whole ass mess. So it's like so.
I go to car shows. I went to Cars and Coffee. The guy who sets it up, I don't know his sex life with his wife. Like, I just don't need to know these things. You know what I'm saying? And that.
Then the lawsuit got brought up, and I'm just like, oh, we really slinging mud now. So years ago, when I start saying it, you'll probably remember it. Years ago, DJ Star, Big Star and Buck Wild, went on the radio and basically said something to the effect of, I'm going to rape Envy's daughter or something like that, like some crazy shit. Wow, he got knocked off the air. He got fined by the FCC, all of this. And Envy sued Star, and I think he sued MS Communications for $10 million for defamation for him saying what he said. So now Ross is like, yo. So Ross is cutting the video, and his man is like off the screen, and they talking, and he like, yeah, like, you know, I thought he was like I thought he grinded the money up. I thought he was like a DJ, like he was, you know, out in the streets selling mixtapes and doing all the parties, whatever. Turns out he sued the nigga. He's like, he didn't go get gangster with the nigga. He sued the nigga, and that's how he got up. That's what he said. So that's where all the cars came from and all the real estate came from. I'm like, shit.
Is that like known?
That's a real thing. Like that happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you know, once you take something from being surface level to being,
I need to find me somebody to sue.
Listen, the biggest wealth transfers in America happen two ways: lawsuits and divorces. Yeah. 1 and 2, lawsuits and divorces.
I could pull a divorce off.
Exactly. Divorce her and then marry a rich woman, divorce her and then sue the bitch. Double come up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
suing them and divorcing them. Damn, you trying to double. Yeah,
trying to ruin you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, you know, once these situations, so that's that. I feel like the mistake that Envy made was transitioning it from being about the car show and speaking to that point to trying to make it personal, because now once you make it personal, everything comes out.
Yeah, gloves kind of come off.
The gloves come off, and niggas is just gonna say whatever. And then it's like, then once you play the Officer Ricky card and you trying to rehash that 15, 16 years later, you know what that's gonna do. Now I'm just gonna go all the way in on you. Yeah. Ross had one video where he said, listen, because Envy posted a picture with 50 or whatever, with the Drake lines from Stay Scheming. And Ross said, I don't care who you stand next to. I'm the one that get to decide if this shit go left or not. And I'm like, that's a declaration of war. I don't care who you stand next to. I get to decide if this shit go left or not. And it's like, yeah, Envy's probably gonna end up getting slapped by Sam Sneak or some shit. Yeah. Like, and then everybody gonna be confused about like what happened. And it's like, no, the chronology is very pronounced. Like, it's very, very clear. I made one little comment about you in regards to a car show. You took it somewhere else. I took it up. You took it up again. And now your wife's in it. And I'm talking about how you didn't make your wife come for 20 years.
Yeah.
This is a mess. This is a fucking mess. Like, but this is what we do. Like,
yo, real shit, man. Niggas can turn the simplest, smallest thing into a complete mess.
To a smoke show.
Dog, into a complete mess. Sheesh.
So my final words on the matter is, y'all brothers is too rich, too successful,
too old,
too important to your communities, and to the greater landscape of like media culture, hip hop culture, and all of that shit, to be going at each other in such a nasty public way. This is like some shade room shit, and the shade room is eating it up right now. They're monetizing the fuck out of this. Every time Ross posts on his story, the shade room got 3 more slides up. Man. Update Rick Ross and DJ. And it's like, it's a weird beef. Like, this is weird.
How do you feel about us going forward with this and any like weird, you know, because let's be frank.
Oh, it's coming.
Let's be frank. there are weird beefs that go on now that I like. At times, I don't even know there is a beef.
I'd be so oblivious to all of this.
I'll find out, and I'll be like, "You ever see the Denzel with the Bluetooth? Say what now? Like, say what now? Like, I'll be like kind of lost to the shit because you know me, I'm super in like a bubble when it comes to shit like that because I don't really pay people no mind. And, you know, I'll find out from someone like, yeah, so-and-so felt the way about something you did. And I'll be like I did say, what now? Because it's like, and then I'll catch myself having to like explain like, Wait, no, I was talking about this, and it just
here's the clip.
Yeah, and it.
No, my bad.
And you just like, yo, I don't know why we're like that as people. Where it's like somebody could get on something and be like, yeah, man, I don't fuck with niggas that watch the NBA. And nigga you just watch the Sixers game, like, bro, talking about me, like,
fuck you, me.
Cause my man's fucking his baby mom, like, and then the next thing you know, and then the next thing you know,
cause my man's fucking his baby, like,
and the next thing you know, it's all out anarchy over the nigga was simply just talking about Rufus from his job, and it
cause this mom sucked my dick back in the day. I got the video.
Yeah.
So how did we get?
How the fuck did we end up in this joint? And you know, it's sad, honestly, because if nothing else, you know, me and you talk about that shit all the time. Like, yo, y'all know we can get a lot farther fucking with each other. Like how we just said, like it would be kind of decent to see Rick Ross and Envy come together. Yeah. To do some car shit.
And they can promote it in an adversarial way. It could be Rick Ross versus DJ Envy. Like, it could be that.
I know from, you know, I'm a car guy and I'm really into a lot of this shit. Meekum legitimately wasn't even doing live events. They would have a live auction and that was it. Meekum now, like their Monterey week, it's literally a week, a whole 7 days in Monterey, California. Yeah. And literally the richest of, I'm talking about like the Jay Leno's and like Princes come and bring their car collections and people bid and what's going to be the highest bid on this and which Corvette is going to, and you get to the auction and you like literally me and Jules and Steve was talking about going to the Jonas share like, yo, you get out there and motherfuckers is bidding millions of dollars on cars and shit like that. And then they got all kinds of different events and people are winning cars. And it's like a really, really huge thing. And I've never seen DuPont Registry in their magazine take an ad out be like, fuck them niggas.
Let me tell you bitch ass niggas something.
Like, it just doesn't have to happen, yo. Like
on October 8th, anybody show up in Monterey, California is dead, nigga. Like, no, that's not the way to go about it.
So I get it. Like Pepsi and Coke. Or McDonald's and Burger King. Like, it's just going to always be an adversarial thing. But I think we've gotten to the point now where that beef, I hate that word. Yeah. It's literally transitioned to where we have nothing that's just straightforward. This is what it is. And everybody's in line with it. It's like if a nigga tomorrow find out he got diabetes and he like, you know what, I'm going to create some diabetic socks. He starts selling them Jones 4 weeks from now. You see him on Instagram Live dissing the diabetic sock nigga who been around for you just like, what the hell is happening, yo?
Got diabetic sock beef.
Diabetic sock beef.
So to answer your original question, steal from Juice, no, they don't get tired of this shit. Because once this beef wraps up, there'll be another one. You know what I'm saying? There'll be another very public, very pronounced beef that going on at Urban.
That last beef ended a little too fast for my liking.
I gotta start some shit with somebody else. Like, who else trying to get into it? Who else got something to say?
Yeah. Shit is unbelievable, man.
It's very disturbing.
It's strange. It's weird. And I don't want no parts of it. I don't want to be involved in that. Listen here. I'm going to say it.
Listen here.
Listen here.
Listen up, sucker.
Listen up, sucker. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, Jack. I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't know how to stress that.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably not...
Let's run that back. We don't have a problem with anyone.
I'm speaking for myself right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
a couple niggas I'm going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story. That's outside of the podcast.
I don't want to shoot nobody. I don't want to fight nobody. I don't want to argue with nobody. I really am here for the betterment of every single person out here. I think we have too much violence. I think we have too much negativity. I think we have too much backbiting. We have too much anger, too much angst, too much vile. Like, we are in a bad way, dog. Motherfuckers legit go out, like, not trying to be funny, going out the crib and then not making it back home. That's some scary ass shit when you think about it. Like, and not making it back home because, God forbid, you have a heart attack or a seizure and lose control of your car. I mean, just not making it back home because a nigga felt some way about an Instagram video. That's some crazy ass shit when you really think about it. And me personally, I got too much good going on. I got too much positivity around me, too much. That shit last week, that shit really fucked me up. Like having everybody in there with that much love, like literally to the point where people who weren't there were talking to people who was there and was just like, man, so-and-so told me y'all had a fucking amazing day. It's just like, yeah, you could feel that shit. And it's like to feel that and then turn around and see two rich-ass black men again beefing over nothing, that shit is tiring and it's draining. Why the fuck are we like this? How the fuck are we like this?
Listen, man,
Dog, it makes zero sense to me, yo. I swear to God. And I watch a lot of people because, you know, we do podcasts. I watch a lot of different podcasts. I see a lot of different podcasts from a lot of different angles, from a lot of different vantage points. They're all useless to someone.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Seriously, I got a message today, yo. Let me tell you how crazy this shit is. I'm not going to say her name just because I don't know if she wants the shit out there. But the shit meant a lot to me. First off, she sent me some money on Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So let's big
shout
that.
out to that. Let's clap up.
Let's big up that. She said,
I take Cash App too. $ C Diddy 666. I didn't get married or nothing, but donation.
But she said, I sent you a small wedding gift to say congratulations to you and your wife. I know that I'm a complete stranger, but it's my way of saying thank you for all the IG jokes and being yourself on the podcast. Some days my depression gets the best of me, but I can always count on you to give me a good laugh. Now that you're married, do your best as a husband, because trust me, these hoes go hard. And in a world that we live in, the morals are at an all-time low. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I'll be waiting to send the baby shower gift. You're going to be waiting for a long time with that one. But she said, congratulations again. And it's like I get messages like that where it's like people have heard me on this show explain my weight loss situation, my credit situation, just my immaturation, if you will, of being a man.
Maturation,
excuse me. I was rolling. My maturation of just becoming a better person.
Yeah.
Understanding who I am and living in my purpose. I do not understand why y'all walk out of the house and all y'all want to do is just diss each other and be negative and be mean. And I started to have people this week that was hitting me with like little slick shit that was going on and getting said around the marriage. And I'm going to tell you this, I see it all. And it still doesn't bother me because I know that's not what I'm on. I know that's not the path that I'm walking on.
Yeah.
If I was on some negative shit, yeah, I'd probably be right there with you. But that's not where I'm at. Life is beautiful, dog. It's so beautiful when you get to a place of just being happy. I cannot understand why anybody wants to go out and risk losing it over dumb shit. It makes zero sense to me. Yeah, and we need to fucking do better, really.
Our willingness to crash out as a culture, completely crash
out and burn over nothing.
Our willingness to crash out as a culture is something that's going to need to be examined, as a case study and figured out, because
get Harvard on the line.
The other part of it that nobody's talking about is the fact that the example that these older men are setting for the youth, the black youth, and not realizing like they're picking up on all y'all toxic bullshit and replicating it the same way.
I said it the other day. Remember when I couldn't think of the name of the guy from Miami who was like the drug kingpin with World of Jewelry? It was Turnpike Ike.
Turnpike Ike.
When you really think about like Turnpike Ike and the Boopy Boys, when you really think about Willie Falcone and all of them, when you really think about like the Cocaine Cowboy, like all of that shit, the Jamaican Shower Posse and all of this shit that ran rampant through Florida and destroyed communities to a certain extent. Motherfuckers became living legends, but destroyed communities. You got somebody like Rick Ross where it's like, you get to do all of this shit that everybody did and be legal.
Yeah.
And employ whoever. And young people look up to y'all. They're influenced by y'all. DJ Envy, the same thing. Granted, you might have come from different situations and a different upbringing up there in New York, but you still from the Bronx?
Queens.
You're right. You still from you from a set, like you from a borough. Like, yeah. So people they feel like they can reach out and touch you. So you might have a different influence over these kids than, say, somebody like Warren Buffett. So it's like, for y'all to be the influence and the direct connection, and all they see y'all do, I done seen Rick Ross. Rick Ross been in more beefs than he got classic albums. This shit is insane. That's all the fuck we do. Imagine if just, like, think about, like, Taylor Swift and all her fans, because I seen them last week staying downtown, the Swifties and all of that shit. Imagine if Taylor Swift would have beef with Reba McEntire, then Shania Twain.
Well, she did beef with Scooter Braun. she
Scooter Braun
was on Scooter ass.
Scooter took all the money. That's a legit
she was on Scooter ass.
But it just, it's like, yo, it's like tiring for this to just be the narrative all the time. Like, literally, we're getting to the point where we're running out of shit. It's gonna be diabetic.
Yo,
socks.
do you remember something real simple a couple years ago? I said what I said, and then it just ends there. You a fuck nigga. I hate your mom. Your dog is ugly. I said what I said, and then it stops there. I said what I said is out the window because motherfuckers just argue you down for days, weeks, months on end. Rick Ross done put up 79,000 Instagram stories about DJ Envy and his family. DJ Envy done cut 7 WWE promos, put up pictures with 50 Cent, like just all of this shit.
That in about DJ Envy and his family.
Like, it's just like, yo, what's the crescendo moment? Like, when do we hit the cymbal on the drum set and just fucking and it be done? Like, when do we wrap this up? How long is it supposed to go on?
The part
till car show season is over?
The part that bothers me the most is looking at it from the place that we're sitting at right now. And I don't know if you had these thoughts, but I know I do. Where it's like, I really enjoy doing this shit. I like it. You know, it's. I didn't realize how good I was or how good we were or how good you. I really didn't really understand it getting into this shit. And now I see it. And like I said, getting these type of messages and responses and having people who, you'd be surprised how many people hit me last week. Like, yo, I don't know you, but I feel like I know you. Because I'm so connected to the podcast. I'm so connected to y'all on social media or whatever. And I really didn't see it. And I enjoy doing this shit. And I have these thoughts where I'm just like, yo, man, everybody I see who's in these positions of like power or influence, it's like you have to go through this weird negativity gauntlet and then come out on the other side. And it's like, what if I don't want to go through the negativity gauntlet?
Yeah, how about that?
Now what? Do I become super successful in entertainment or media or whatever? You know, you get where I'm going with this? And I have these thoughts to myself where it's like, I don't want anyone to disrespect my father.
In the name of
some internet having you get where I'm going? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's really where we, like, people are bringing up Envy dad or bringing up Envy wife or bringing up Rick Ross baby mom, and I don't want to have to go through someone dissing my wife's mother or my dog or like am I tripping?
No, you're not tripping.
And to me it's just like, yo, can we have like one thing that just gets to like come out and nobody is being mean and negative as shit about it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's how it feels.
Absolutely not. And it's like, it's times like this that make me think about like, you know, early Jay-Z, like Streets is watching. Once you tag lame, the game is follow the leader. Everybody want a piece of your Skrilla, so you got to keep it real. So it's like everybody's operating with that bravado of like, oh, a nigga ain't gonna play with me on the internet because then the next nigga gonna think they can play with me. So that's why you see motherfuckers jumping up, yelling in their phone screen, cursing people out, talking about your cat is a bitch, and just all this just nonsense. And it's just like, all right, where does this lead us? How does this make anything better? How does this create more economy? It's beef economy. It's the attention of the negativity because everybody wants to see a car wreck. So it's like, even though I'm here speaking against it and I'm saying like, yo, they both made missteps on both sides, I'm just as guilty because I'm indulging in the shit, and I'm sitting here on Ross page, I'm on Envy page, and I'm just like, I'm observing it from like y'all some dickheads, but I'm still observing it as opposed to just turning a blind eye to the shit.
And that's the crazy part. I honestly know about it because it became so prevalent in like everyday culture that it literally
they'll put it in your face.
It finds you to the point where, I'll be honest with you, I don't follow Rick Ross or Envy.
I don't either.
I go to Rick Ross page every now and then just to see the cars. I'm not joking. That's the reason I go to Ross page. Like, let me see what trucks he on. Let me see. So yes, I look at Rick Ross like he's the car guy, but That's the reason why I might go to Lil Baby page. I don't follow Lil Baby, but it's like, yeah, if I want to get some inspiration to see a G900
Lil Baby posted some shit. He tagged Rick Ross. He said, at Rich Forever, how much space I got. He showed his car. He got a carport. He showed his carport. He got some crazy ass old school, some Mustangs. He had a couple 57s. Like, he had some shit.
Floyd Mayweather got a crazy ass car collection. Like, it's like sometimes you ever see the video of Floyd with the Tupac beat playing where he on the airstrip and he got the plane behind the car? Like, I like seeing shit like that, but at the end of the day, I don't follow a lot of the. I'm big on. I don't really follow a bunch of people I don't know. Yeah. So I follow a celebrity that's like interesting. Like I follow Kenya Barris. Right. I don't know Kenya Barris, but I follow Kenya Barris because he's interesting.
Yeah, Kenya Barris is the man.
Yeah, I follow Daniel Negreanu because I think he's interesting. Like I follow shit like that, but I don't follow all this blog nonsense to where you just seeing beef and problems. Yeah. That shit is draining.
Listen, the beef shit and the clickbait politics on these blogs has gotten so prevalent. I had to unfollow the non-problematic blogs. I had to unfollow Culture Millennials and Too Cool to Blog, and I'm like, yo, y'all are going down the same. Y'all had a different editorial view, and y'all are going down the same rabbit hole as Say Cheese and Academics and It's On Site and all these. Y'all just posting anything. Yeah. This is stupid.
Yeah, I've been detached and like tapped out.
Listen. I'm probably about 5-6 months clean now. I had to kick the habit. I had to get off them blogs, and it's like, yo, every now and again I'll go to it or whatever, just because I need to stay informed for the sake of the show. But it's like so much of that shit I'm just watching. Like I don't care about this. I don't care about this. That's dumb. I don't care about this. Your outfit is corny. I don't care about this. But I hate your chain. Like I don't care about so much of this stuff. It's almost like, all right, what's next? Like what?
But think about how, like I said, that message right there is somebody that's like, I was going through the same thing and listening to your story and the way y'all talk and the way y'all joke and the way you just present information really made me a fan of that. But for every one person like that, you could have 35 people that would watch this shit all day if we was cursing at the camera and yelling at this person. And that to me is the sickness part of all of this shit, where it's like, we need rewiring internally. Yeah. Like that, like we need to be hardwired.
The society is poisoned.
The society is convoluted. Like we need to be rewired bad. And, like I said, I'm on this train now, and, I essentially kind of gotta, like I said, it's funny because I had a conversation the other day with a close friend of the show, and he was just like, most people, he asked this question, they don't really have a answer because most people haven't thought about it. And he was just like, have you ever thought about a number? Like if you had a number like getting low, and I'm like, 10 million. And he was just like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, 10 million, I'd be going tomorrow. Like,
yeah, I might could do it for 7.
But I'm just like, 10 million tomorrow, I would literally be off the grid and I'd be fishing. Because I just, at times, it's a little bit too much. Yeah. And I was telling him, I'm like, when it comes to this situation now, this is what we do. Like, this is our livelihoods. Yeah. So it's like, I'm invested now and I'm here. And I want to be that person who, like, is talking differently and being above certain shit, but it's hard because it's like you see the world and you see the antics, and it's just like, damn, like if we were doing the antics, we'd probably be so much further.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that part kind of bugs me out, where it's like, damn, so just being like informative and smart and entertaining, is that just not enough? Do I gotta sock jab? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I don't know at times, man. I just, when I see all these, where think about it, the last couple of weeks, all we've really had going on outside of the playoffs being spectacular is radio beef, podcast beef, internet show beef, comedian beef, poet beef, car show beef. It's just been nonstop, and it's just like, yo, it can't be this in every genre and every field, can it? But wait till the nigga make the diabetic sock. And then you gonna see it.
Dude, see, that shit kick right back up. God, you know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? Desus and Mero dissolved their partnership probably about 7 or 8 months ago now at this point. And, I used to make it a point constantly between me and your conversations, me, you, and Ra, me, you, and Dan, stuff like that, just saying, like, their editorial depiction of how they wanted to present, number one, themselves, and then number two, their guests. And the fact that like they don't embarrass their guests, and the quality and caliber of guests that they were pulling at the end. Sandra Bullock, Denzel Washington, Keanu Reeves, like just all these different top flight people. And then I look at it and I'm like, yo, there's a clear void in that space for urban people interviewing leaders of industry, high top flight, high end, true A-list guests. And I'm like, yo, there's a clear void in that industry, and obviously it pays a ton of money because fucking Desus and Mero was making no telling, and everybody was so confused about them walking away from the deal. But you look 7 or 8 months later, nobody is attempting to do that. You know why? Because it requires actual work. It's too fucking hard. It requires you to really sit down and plan out shit and not just be doing shit by the seat of your pants and just showing up fucking recording. It requires a real show producer, a real showrunner, a real talent booker, you know, being able to coordinate with people's travel schedules and all of that. Like, it requires so much work that even though it's a clear lane paved with fucking gold, nobody in the upper echelon of urban media has decided to take that trek down that road because it requires too much effort.
You know, one thing I think about often when I hear like just in like media and different interview situations and stuff like that, at least I've had this conversation with a few people like, oh, y'all need to pull up on so-and-so and just get them on the spot. And it'd be like, I don't want to do an interview on the spot. That's some shit you got to plan for. Yeah. You really got to write them thoughts out and really, really have an understanding of which direction you going to go in this interview.
Or you're going to have a shitty piece of media.
Yeah, and I'm like, but that's kind of where we've gotten, where it's just like, as long as you got somebody who pop in on the joint, people going to watch it, so we good. Yeah. And that's not it to me. Like that, and I can tell. I can tell that somebody, bro just walked in and bro just came in. Yeah, it make all the sense in the world.
And here's the thing. You can't expect everybody to do what everybody else is doing, because at that point, what makes what I'm doing special or unique if I'm just following the fray and just doing what everybody else is doing? Like, at this point in going on 7 years of this shit, 6.5 years in on this shit, we've shown y'all that we have our own unique view on how we view things, how we think about things, how we process culture, how we process information, how we criticize, how we critique culture, how we present our live shows, our merchandise. All of this stuff is very intentional. There's intent to everything that we do. And now we're starting to reap the benefits of that as far as like viewership and audience, where now, because the rest of the world and the rest of the internet is starting to catch up to what the fuck we're doing. Now we have content that's like trending in reverse, where we'll put something out and then it'll just go and it's just like, oh yeah, that was cool, whatever. And the people that digest it love it. But then 4 months down the line, the shit starts trending, and then you look up, and then now our interview with Smart got 35,000 views, 28,000 of which came in the last 2 weeks, because we're very intentional with what the fuck we do and how we present shit. We don't embarrass our guests. We don't ask fucking weird, off-kilter fucking questions. We ask directive stuff that's beneficial to us and to the audience. And with that in mind, it's like, yo, we create pre-recorded content for web consumption. That's part of our mission of what the fuck we do. So if we start going and turn into hits from the fucking street, that's going to totally disturb this whole thing that we've been very carefully crafting over 6.5 years. All of that goes out of the window in the name of fucking web traffic.
I think the biggest thing for me, just looking at this situation with, I didn't even mean for us to go down this rabbit hole as deep as we did.
It's an amazing conversation.
I think the thing that troubles me the most is, why are we so influenced, and why do we gravitate so easily to mess? Like, why does everything have to have mess in the urban community is like pepper.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't got no mess in it, just need some more mess. That's how this shit feels. Like, everything has to have. It used to be a dash of mess. Yeah. Now it's like, the fat end of the pepper. Like, you gotta dump that mess all the way in there. And everything just has a level of just classlessness, uncouth, trashy, messy.
Yeah.
What's another word I'm looking for? just nonsense.
Yeah.
Like everything has a level of nonsense in it, and to me, it doesn't need to be that. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you have a situation where, you know, Charlemagne sits down with you, that's to me is not. It's not the time to be like, yeah. So what? Remember them niggas who chase you down the street? Like, no, bro, you took over media from you being a second mic on the Wendy Williams show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your ascension to the top of the game.
How the hell did you do it?
Right. Like you a fucking author now. Like it's a lot of dope shit as opposed to the nonsense. But it's like all we can see at times is just mess. Yeah. And that to me is just, that's not what I want. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to do mess. I'm not here to be messy. I'm not here to throw salt. I'm not here to be fucked up or not. Listen, I'm going to say it. I fuck with everybody. I know that might seem crazy because that's not realistic for most of y'all, but
yeah, it ain't realistic for me. I fuck with who I fuck with.
No, listen.
Fuck the rest of y'all.
No, but here's the thing. Even if I don't, am not a supporter of like your day-to-day goings-ons, I want the best for you. I don't want you to fuck up or like, because it's enough space and real estate out here for everyone to do good. And that's just how I feel. I can't fake that. I can't be like, no, because I don't want nobody to be, because if they successful, then hold on now, hold the phone. Like, it ain't me, man. And it's sad that we're like this. Like, bruh, like, come on, man. Like,
and on the flip side, I wish everyone well. But at a certain point where it keeps becoming a thing where it's like, motherfuckers are essentially like spitting in your face or just slighting you for
that's a different ballgame.
For no fucking reason. It's
I'm
just
not talking
like,
about the people who go out and their way.
At that point, it's like I can't
tie them to a car and drive through Old City. I'm just saying, as far as like the day to day of me thinking about people, I'm not thinking about anyone in a nasty way. That just, that just ain't it. So. That was my spiel. I didn't mean for us to go down that joint, but it's just seeing rich ass black people who have all this power, all this wealth,
all this influence,
and can change all these lives. To see y'all arguing over Thunderbirds and Camaros is just like, what? Like, really? How did we get here? You said you went down a music rabbit hole.
Oh no, it was some sports shit.
Oh, some sports shit.
Yeah, it was some sports shit. So I think I found the worst sports take of all time. Okay. Rashaad McCants, former UNC basketball player, playing in the league for like 4 years.
I got a funny ass Rashaad McCants story, but I don't know if I could tell it. That's how ridiculous.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Big 3 champion, whatever the case may be, basically like a basketball life or whatever. So he's a regular recurring guest. Him and Brandon Jennings are recurring guests on Gil's Arena, which is Gilbert Arenas' podcast that he does. So he has one that he does with Fubo Sports, and he has another one that he does like on his own channel, whatever, with him and Josiah, and then these two niggas or whatever. The other and Kenyon Martin is a regular recurring guest also. I love Kenyon Martin, man. His takes on basketball are like pretty spot on. He's very, very sharp guy. Probably with a future in coaching in the NBA on some level. But Rashaad McCants literally made the argument that Greg Popovich is not a good coach.
Why did he make this argument?
And his basis was, as convoluted as it may sound, his basis was coaches don't turn players into Hall of Famers. Players turn players into Hall of Famers or whatever. And Gilbert and Kenyon Martin are like, there is some truth to what you're saying. However, look at the players he had. Levy their expectations versus how their careers bear it out. You have to give the credit to Pop because nobody else in the NBA saw this, and he was able to keep these guys together for 10, 12, 15 years in an era of free agency where everybody's jumping around and bouncing around. It was like, look at Tony Parker, for instance. There's a look at Tony Parker. Tony Parker was not projected to be no NBA Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Finals MVP, phenomenal basketball player. Manu Ginobili, he was not projected to be a Hall of Famer when he came into the league. Phenomenal player, probably one of the greatest 6 men 2 or 3 greatest 6 men in the NBA history, whatever the case may be. And somebody that has so much talent, people in the league in and around the height of Manu were encouraging him to leave to go get his own team and go be a starter somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's the Greg Popovich effect. You look at, Tim Duncan was pretty much a finished product when he came into the league, but Greg Popovich structured that organization around him in a way to where all the players had to fit Tim Duncan's strong suits and mask his weaknesses as a basketball player. That's the reason why he's a fucking good coach. Not to mention his role in USA basketball, being just a general ambassador to the game, counseling players like LeBron and Kobe and all of this. So it was just like very strange. And he literally like argued this shit down for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, yo, in the history of the NBA, I don't think I've ever, one, heard this, or two, somebody tried to make as absurd of an argument. And they're like, yo, he won 5 rings. They like, well, yeah, but that was all around Duncan. He didn't do it again after Duncan. And they're like, well, you do know Kawhi only was there for like 2 more years afterwards. And then Kawhi blew that organization up. That wasn't like a Greg Popovich thing. That wasn't like a Red Buford thing. So it was just very, very strange that, he literally argued his point. And you got all of these different, people that, again, basketball lifers in the room. And they're just telling him. And he's like, man, y'all ain't going to change my mind. And I'm like, yo, people's need to be right blinds them to their biases and makes it to where they can't even in real time digest another argument, because this is just like debate for the sake of debate. It's not debate with the intention of trying to get some form of like understanding or being presented with some new information, and then you're able to assimilate your thoughts around that. It's just like debate for the sake of debate, and it's just like, I'm going to come here with a motherfucking hot take, and I'm going to just say this shit and throw it out there, and I ain't got to defend it. He just ain't no good coach to me. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that's not enough with somebody that's a 5-time champion and like a 2-time gold medalist as a coach.
Greg Popovich is one of the best coaches of all time.
Correct.
I
see you processing this. I'm like, oh, let me see what Matt got for me.
Because it's
so absurd.
When you think of coach, especially when it comes to the NBA,
yes,
what do you think of when you if you had to break coaching down to one thing? What do you think of? You talk about the best and most elite coaches.
Being able to galvanize a group of men.
That's kind of where I'm at. My thing is being able to manage the talented and most ridiculous egos on the planet.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. Baseball players and football players to a certain extent aren't like visual entities the way basketball players are.
For sure.
Or soccer players are.
Yeah, they're not as front-facing.
Your face is invisible.
Yeah.
Football players, I don't know if you realize, when a football player do a Subway commercial, he got to wear his jersey in the commercial. Mm-hmm. Just so you know, oh, that is Trent Edmonds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it go. When you talk about a basketball coach being able to get 12 essentially divas, they're all divas. Yes. Because there's only 450 of these motherfuckers on the earth. That make you a diva by nature.
Yeah.
They literally do fucking what's the shit for what they wearing?
Oh, the league fit shit.
They do league fit shit now for Austin Reeves. And I'm just like, how did we get here? Yeah. They're all divas.
Are those some flat front khakis?
So for you to have a room where you got the Admiral, you got the greatest power forward ever, you got one of the best point guards to ever come out of France, you got the best sharpshooting 6-man in Argentina history. You got one of the best black defenders on the planet in Bruce Bowen. You got Big Shot Rob over here. To be able to manage all that,
Steve Kerr,
and get them to go out there and accomplish one thing, to shit on your ability to do that is crazy. Yeah. That just doesn't even make sense. And hearing that and knowing what I know, it's like, I see now why Rashaad McCants is as crazy as he is.
I see why you burned out of the league in 4 years. You are irrational and ridiculous. Duh. Because if Greg Popovich ain't a good coach to you, who was the Timberwolves coach around that time? The little short nigga? Not Flip. It was somebody in between. Flip had went to the front office. and then it was like somebody else like in between or whatever. It was like Mike something or whatever.
I know exactly who it is. I can see him.
You see what I'm saying? You
but
can
I
see
can't
him.
think his name.
Dark hair, clean
Yeah.
face. Like it's like, so if Greg Popovich ain't shit to you, this nigga definitely can't tell you nothing.
That's gonna annoy me, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like if Greg Popovich is not great to you, whoever else that's not Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach is just like, oh, fuck this nigga. Like you can't listen to nobody. So it crystallizes the point of how Rashaad McCants is a lottery pick and then burns out of the league in like 4 years.
Randy
Whitman. Randy fucking Whitman, yo. Randy Whitman.
He look like a monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Randy Whitman, like a great value Rick Pitino.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like if Greg Popovich ain't shit to you, then you know Randy Whitman can't tell you nothing.
Nah, you ain't trying to hear what Scott Skiles got to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just, it's funny that you bring that up. The need to be right. And something I've realized, yo, in recent, I guess this is why I'm just at where I'm at mentally with a lot of things, is for most of the shit that we argue about all day long, there is no right or wrong answer.
No, it's all conjecture.
It's all objective opinion. Yeah. That's it. There are certain things, like think about it. When you see all this podcast beef, you know all these podcasters be beefing and ain't none of them the number one podcast? You know why? Because I ain't seen Joe Rogan in a beef yet.
Yep.
That's the number one podcast.
Yep. I ain't seen Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment in a beef.
You never gonna see the CEO of ESPN on TV. Let me tell you other sports niggas.
You FS1 niggas.
When you're the leader,
y'all stole my whole style. Like you're not gonna see that.
Some of this shit is fact. There is facts out here. But you know that there is no fact that says that Phil Jackson is any better of a coach than Casey Jones. There is no fact that says that Pat Riley is any better of a coach than Red Auerbach.
Yeah.
It's opinion based on accomplishments.
Yep.
That's kind of what happens when it comes to sports. Most of this shit.
That's a bar. It's opinion based on accomplishments.
It's opinion based on accomplishments. Because I'll be honest with you, there's no real right or wrong answer when it comes to who's the GOAT between Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. And on different days, I feel different ways
there
about
are opinions behind this shit. I have my opinion. You have your opinion. And one thing I think I've just been able to do in these recent years is understand that your opinion doesn't have to fall in line with my opinion.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are wrong. Neither one of us are right because there is no fact of this shit. There are certain things that will discredit your opinion.
Yes.
So if I say, and this is where I kind of want to go into with the Clint show we just did. If I say Nas has the best diss track ever, that's my opinion. Mm-hmm. There is no fact that Hit 'Em Up is better than Ether. There is no fact that Ether is better than Hit 'Em Up. Right. All I can do, like on that show, is lay my case out for why I think it's the best diss track ever.
Put down the foundation.
Now, if I would have went on that show and said, Chris dissing Bill Collector is one of, now it's like, okay, because that's not in the wheelhouse of greatest diss track.
Cat Williams dissing the Young Guns is the greatest diss track.
That's not in the wheelhouse of greatest ever. Sort of like how we just said, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, you can make a case for all of them. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. If I come up there and say, no, see, what y'all don't understand is Marc Gasol is now you're not in the wheelhouse.
He's a big man.
Can shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? He got a defensive player. You may be beat LeBron for the defensive player. Now you're just talking nonsense. Yeah. And I watched that yesterday. Clint posted the video, and the headline is so misleading because the headline says, "Is Takeover the greatest diss track of all time?" And then it's the clip of me talking about how Takeover would have been one of the best diss tracks ever if not for Ether. And I'm like, that headline with this part of the video makes it look like I was advocating for Takeover being the best. And I literally clearly said, I don't even think it's tier one. But because, and that's where I've realized with media, it's a lot of different angles.
It's a runaround.
It's a runaround
Yeah,
that goes on.
It's like a wrestling term, it's a work.
It's a work. A lot of these clips are designed and put out in a manner to get y'all to go back and
to be
forth.
intentionally misleading. I'm going to caption it like this, but then I'm going to give you the video with the talking point like this, and then the caption on the post is going to be something totally different, and all meant to elicit an emotional response from you for engagement purposes.
And I watch people in the joint where like people were literally just taking what I said in the video and turning it into like, one nigga was like, this nigga don't know how the fuck he don't got hit him up there. I'm like, we weren't talking about hit him up at that time period of the show.
You know, do you know what a clip is? Like a clip is an abbreviated version of a long form of content.
I saw good people we both know in them comments yesterday like, no Vaseline, no other comment, get him out of here. And I'm like, we weren't talking about no Vaseline.
Chad talked about it right after.
We had a whole joke about no Vaseline. And I'm like, yo, y'all are too easily triggered with this shit.
In the words of my man Wolf, they is not clicking the link in your bio.
Y'all are too easily triggered with these emotional things where nobody is really right or wrong. I said to me, Ether's the best diss track ever. You said no Vaseline. There's nothing else.
Yeah, we debated the overall point so good that we got to a point where we changed the criteria where it went from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 to these are tier 1 and then the rest of these are just records.
They just out there.
They just out there because they all kind of serve the same purpose. And it's like on a certain day, you might hear one of these records or whatever, and then remember that, oh, damn, no, such and such did have a beef with such and such, but it's not top of your mind. There are certain records, and we picked 8 that are at the top of your mind when it comes to diss records that have a long-lasting, burning effect on people, and then there's the rest of this shit. And there's hundreds of them, but then there's the rest of this shit.
Yeah.
And that just is what it is.
And at the end of the day, I saw somebody in there was like, Ether aged terribly. I'm like, that's not my opinion, but okay.
Yeah.
I didn't go back and forth with the man. I said, okay. Like, y'all be so like, I gotta be right. When in reality, none of us are right. It's all opinion.
The other day, when we was on the Patreon or whatever, we was talking about things that gotta go. And I was just talking about like sports debate culture, but just debate culture in general is very annoying because a lot of people don't debate in good faith.
No.
They don't debate with the premise of let me examine the other argument and attack the argument and see where it may be weak at, or maybe where I may agree with some points on the other argument, but I still feel differently because of this. So a lot of people build straw man arguments or whatever, which are easily like dismissed or whatever the case may be because it's a fucking straw man, just blow the shit away. But they'll let like the sensationalism or like the clickbaity part of like their argument try to carry them through it when in reality it's no real basis to the shit.
One thing I thought that was really dope about what me, you, and Clint, shout out to Clint too for having us on there. It was an excellent show. If you haven't,
appreciate you, man.
Go check out Music is the Love Language. It's episode I think 59 we did. And we discussed the best diss
records of all time.
And if you have, it's a very, very, and Clint even said, like, yo, this is one of the best joints. Normally, I only do 30 to 40 minutes. We wound up doing like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was a real good debate. One thing I think was very, very good about the debate was I was able to sway him about Ether. Mm-hmm. He was able to sway us about Takeover. He was able to sway us about The Bridge Is Over. Yeah. And you kind of solidified No Vaseline. And we all kind of and even Rob said it. Rob was like, I just knew Clint was going to get to where he was hating on Hit 'Em Up. And you and me even was just like, yeah, no, Hit 'Em Up has to. If you're doing a best diss track list of all time and you don't have Hit 'Em Up in there, it invalidates the list.
Yeah.
So that has to be in there. Regardless of how you feel about Tupac or any of that shit, Hit 'Em Up is one of the best diss tracks of all time because it's a seminal diss record in hip hop history.
And it almost like it shows like the change in like how diss records got constructed in the future going forward, where it's like Super Ugly is a page out of the Hit 'Em Up book.
Not trying to be funny, Ra even made the parallel to Hit 'Em Up and what you have in drill music now.
Yeah.
Where it's like
the drill record.
Yeah, it really is like that. So it's like, yo,
grab your guns when you see Tupac. Call the cops when you see Tupac. Yeah. You shot me, but your punks didn't finish. Now you about to feel a wrath of a minute. That's a drill record.
Yeah. People be doing penitentiary still. This ain't a freestyle battle. All you niggas getting killed with your mouths open. Trying to come up with me. You in the cloud smoking dope. I'm like a Sherm high. Niggas think they learn to fly. But you burn motherfucker. That Pac was running. He was rolling. And then that shit at the end was just like, you know.
You tell me who won. I see them, they run. You motherfuckers can't see us or be us. Whole bad boy clique dressing up trying to be us.
Like, that nigga was going. And when he said, don't one of you niggas got sickle cell or something, it was just like.
Have a seizure, a heart attack or something fucking with me.
Like, that's how these records are made now.
Yeah.
You know, like, real shit. Like, Story of Adidon. Like, think about how crazy it is. Like, people literally was mad at Push about the 40 hunched over like he 80. And it's like, that's the same shit Pac said about Prodigy. Like, seriously, that's how it's formulated. So, yeah.
Push came out and said, I thought it wasn't no rules. They telling me it's rules now.
Yeah. So, it just has to be in there. But I see a lot of these clips that come out where you got somebody, not even somebody, most people are in the comments trying to get the pinned comment.
Yeah.
That's the
pinned comment culture is cooking.
That's something that we got to get rid of, the pinned comment on Instagram. Because the person trying to get the pinned comment is always doing the absolute most in every post. It's always the same person. Like, you just a pinned comment ball.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like, yeah. But
the funny shit be when I see people get called out for trying to be the pinned comment boy, somebody comments, they be like, oh, you on every post trying to do such and such, such and such. Nigga now you getting fried. You know what I'm saying? The shit worked in reverse.
Straight up. Like the
But yeah, people's need to be right in their disingenuousness and lack of understanding when they go into these debates and these arguments, whatever, these culturally relevant talking points and shit like that is what completely like disarms their argument most times. Anytime I enter a debate with somebody, it's because I'm well versed on the topic. I know my side and I know your side. So coming in, I know why I'm right and I know why you wrong. Before you even start whatever you hit me with, I already know why you wrong. So I already have a defense for it and a response to it. And then after a while, when people keep getting hit with counterpoint, they get tired of that shit. It's like, well, man, just fuck it then. Like, It's like, so what do we do this for?
Yeah, I said it a lot. And, I've stuck to my guns. I've said it since pretty much Ether came out. I thought it was the best diss track ever just because of the ground that it covered and just how fast it shook up the whole hip-hop industry. And somebody hit me the other day, was like, yo, I never really put Ether above Hit 'Em Up. And that's his opinion. But he was like, listening to you say it, where it's like, damn, Bleak did do an interview and say that Ether was like a scary day for us. Beans did do an interview where he said,
I'm riding around bumping that Ether right now.
Like,
he got it.
Swiss Beats did get on a track and say, chilling in the Beamer, listening to Ether. And it's like, we've never seen that in hip hop.
Yeah.
Imagine when Hit 'Em Up came out, if you would have seen Mace like, nah, man. Get us out of that. And then seen Lil C's like, yo, I ain't gonna front. I told Big, like, yo, he killed us on this. Then you would have looked up and seen Puff on a track talking about riding in the, listening to Hit 'Em. Like, you've never seen that happen.
Riding in the pickup truck, listening to Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah, like, you've never seen that happen. Like I told you, Remy Ma dissed Nicki Minaj. It was called Sheether. It wasn't called Shit 'Em Up. Like, this is just not the way it go.
But you know what's at the heart of all of this shit, right? We like Jay.
Yeah,
more.
It's Jay.
It's Jay. We can't live in a world where Jay took a loss. Jay is Teflon.
I had niggas tell me that Jay was better than Nas because he had a Maybach.
What does it have to do with the record?
I swear to God, I had niggas tell me
What does it have to do with the record?
And I was like, say it again? Like, baby blue Maybach, like he on Gerber. Okay. Well,
what else you got?
I swear to God. I had another nigga tell me how Jay-Z was greater than Nas because he signed Nas to Def Jam.
Which was false.
And wasn't true.
Which was false.
But,
Nas got $30-some-odd million, and that was a L.A. Reid thing. And he owned his masters out the gate, so that was a very good situation.
I had another nigga tell me how he knew Jay was better than Nas when Jay dropped Dear Summer, and I was like, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. And he was just like, yeah, man, like, and then he got on the track. Remember he said, get a drum or something. I already gave a summer something. Like, he smoked that Dear Summer shit. I'm like, he said that because all his albums before this one came out in the summertime. This is the first album that came out in the winter. He was like, see what I mean? Y'all crazy? And I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Fucking talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, stop fucking talking to me, dog.
Like, so at the end of the day, we all got our opinions, we all got our likes, we all got our loves, but there is no right or wrong to most of this shit.
Yeah, for sure.
The only fact that you have facts in science, you have facts in math. 6 times 6 is 36, right?
Yep.
There's no way to change that.
It's never gonna be 35 or 34.
312 times 96 is 29,952, right?
Yeah.
Like if you do a procedure, you get a definite. That's how it works. That's science, that's math. You do a procedure, you get a definite answer. If you're using opinions, you is not coming to nothing definite ever.
We've gotten to the point where some people are so married to debate and the need to be right that they will attempt to invalidate statistical shit. They'll invalidate scientific shit.
The worst be when you have a fact that motherfuckers still want to argue.
Yes. That happened to me yesterday.
Like, America won World War II. You know how I know? Japan said, we give the fuck up. It is over.
Y'all is on our ass.
It is over, Jack. We give up. That's a fact. So there's no debating that. That actually happened. But trying to figure out who's the greatest war leader, that's opinion.
Yeah.
Based off of facts of accomplishments. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it that's another rabbit hole. But yeah, the need to want to be right, it just be like kind of crazy at times. Because there's always some minuscule, it's always the best rapper, best diss track, or best basketball player.
Greatest running back.
That niggas is ready to die over. Like,
some shit that don't matter in the grand scheme of nothing. Like, they about to cut your water off, and you sitting here arguing me down. You 19 posts deep arguing about Barry Sanders or Marshall Faulk. Like, you should stop, sir. You should stop.
And it's always the old nigga who come in, well, why, I don't understand why Jim Brown ain't getting right. You know what I'm saying?
Because Tony Dorsett was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, Eric Dickerson, nigga. I don't know if you ever seen Eric Dick, nigga. He Eric Dickerson used to get busy.
He killed them white people with OJ, the juice. Playing a lot of games right now.
He killed the white people. Remember Dave Chappelle said this stand-up was like, how could you talk to that murderer? He said, man, with all due respect, that murderer rushed for 2,000 yards. Yeah, man.
4 times I met OJ.
Yo.
Oh, real quick before we get out of here.
he said, I walked off the stage, and it was one of those funky little comedy clubs where you walked off the stage and the door led right into the green room. He said, I saw OJ sitting in the front row, and I walked off the stage. When I opened the door, OJ was in the green room. He said, me and all my friends was talking to him, and it was all fun and cool. He said he left out and was like, he did that shit, man. I felt it. It was murder in the room.
Murder in the room is nuts.
Oh, real quick, I got asked to be in a movie yesterday.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, Kyrie hit me. I told him I was like, this is a regular. This ain't no porn, right? Because I can't do no porn. He's like, why the fuck would I be asking you to do it? I'm like, I'm just saying, I can't do that. But yeah, I'm apparently gonna. I told him I would speak to my agent about. You're my agent.
Okay, all right.
Just,
this is us speaking of.
Yeah, just so you know. But yeah, he reached out to me about me in a movie. I was like, yeah, man, you know. So apparently I have that it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Congratulations.
We gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I
need a Tubi legend.
Yeah, that. And it's funny because then Dan was like, he wanted to write a movie. I was just like, yo, you know, I got a lot of scripts I'm looking at.
What are my options?
I got some time, but I don't got much time. I got a lot of options.
That's funny.
So yeah, we'll see what's going on. But what was you about to say?
First down bad with Chad in a while. I got to talk about White Men
See
Cant
how we
Jump.
roll right in the movies? That's funny as shit. Is it that bad? It looked terrible.
It's pretty terrible. They made a gentrified, non-toxic version of White Men Cant Jump. They turned it into a family-friendly PG cross colors piece of crap. And you have Jack Harlow.
Piece of crap. I heard that in the video.
It's a piece of crap. And you have Jack Harlow. You got Shawn from Power, which I don't know his real name. But
he's showing from Power.
Apparently, bitches like him, they want to fuck him. So he's a leading man now, whatever the case may be. And
kind of reminds me of Derek Luke a little bit.
He's got a tall Derek Luke vibe going on with him. So they got them two, whatever. The backstory to both of their basketball careers is different in how they link up. So this is not Sidney Dean and Billy Ho.
Are their names the same?
Completely different. It's not the same movie. Yeah. Boo this movie.
Yeah.
So essentially they get together, whatever, because they both playing basketball, whatever. Shawn from Power, he's hustling on the street, playing pickup ball, whatever. That they still meet the same way, hustling, playing pickup. Jack Harlow's character was a basketball player, went to Gonzaga, blew both his knees out, tore both his ACLs, went to Gonzaga.
Why they had him going to Gonzaga with that little fro? That's funny.
Blew both his knees out, whatever. Didn't make the NBA, whatever. He's 27, trying to find a way to get into the G League.
Okay.
He's doing training and health, health plans and stuff like that for aspiring athletes. He got like a couple AAU players, different stuff like that he's training, but he's broke. So he's, going to these different gyms, owing them money, not paying for his memberships, this, and this. These two connect, playing pickup, whatever, because Jack Harlow hustles Shawn from Power.
Okay, so that's pretty much the same.
So that's the same, whatever. He hustles him, whatever. Then they start playing ball together. They have a fallout, but it's like the most minuscule, like goofy fallout like ever. I'm not gonna ruin it, say what it was, but it was just like, this is junk. Like, this is nothing, whatever. And they bonded over, Jack Harlow asking Shawn from Power, that's his name, Shawn from Power, I don't know his name, asking, referring to him as Shawn from Power 15 times so far. It's like, So he asked Shawn from Power, he says, is there anything that you like that's not like, considered, on par with your blackness or your black, because like the race thing kept coming up. And he was like, yeah, I like Ed Sheeran or whatever. And then he's like, yo, so if you driving in your Escalade and then you playing Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, and you having a good old time, and three black guys pull up next to you, playing NWA or something, are you gonna turn your music down and act like you wasn't playing it, or you gonna turn it up and fucking sing the song, whatever. So that became like a catalyst point for them going forward. And then after they reconciled from their fallout, Jack Harlow was waiting at the basketball tournament playing Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, whatever. Gay.
Yeah.
This is a whack movie.
When I saw the preview and they had the scene of them trying to hustle, I guess the new Raymond. Yeah, and the new Raymond went and got a flamethrower.
Yes.
I was like,
he got a flamethrower.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not.
Really had a flamethrower.
Yeah, I'm not into this.
So so they played in two tournaments or whatever. One was 25,000. One was 500,000. Whatever. Vince Staples is in the movie. It's like one of them, like, it's almost like a kind of Who's the Man type of thing, where it's like the different young relevant people. Lil Murder from P Valley's in it. My man from The Wire that just passed, what's his name? Louis Riddick.
Okay,
Daniels, exactly. Lieutenant Daniels, whatever. He's in it. He plays Shawn from Power's dad. The dude from BMF, the one that Lamar killed when he was singing "You Can't Stop the Rain."
I stopped watching BMF.
Yeah, BMF. I'm so mad at BMF. So he's in it. So it's like all of these like little bit parts. Tiana Taylor's in it. You know what I mean?
She's in everything.
She's in everything right now. She got another movie out right now that she's starring in.
I'm gonna be honest, man. They're running out of movies.
Listen,
and they're remaking great movies that essentially were great for their time, but it's like you don't need to. They just redid House Party.
Yeah.
Which is like
it was kind of ass.
Just the premise of it is just like, yo, this isn't what we came here with. Like the first House Party was like House Party, and you didn't see that coming. And for y'all to do these remakes where it's like, we see the hook coming. So for you to divert from the original movie and then not even have the sensationalism that made us fall in love with the original joint.
And it's funny you bring up House Party because the same director directed both of these.
Oh, okay.
The guy named Cal Maddock from California.
But like House Party 1, you weren't anticipating them doing the dance.
No.
House Party 1, you weren't anticipating the battle. Even though it was a real record they had already did, you weren't anticipating that. You weren't anticipating Bilal and what was the drunk nigga that kept bumping the table?
Oh, yeah. Thing with the gold tooth.
Yeah, I can't think his fucking name. Remember they put him on the door and knocked on the door and left in there and shit?
Yeah, we did that to somebody before. Me and Ayo, I'm not gonna say who it was, but we did that before. It was a chick. She was out with us, got too faded, and her family house was like a estate. We pulled up to the crib. I'm like, are we going to jail, nigga? Like, she was faded. We put her at the door, run the doorbell, and ran to the fucking car. It's like 10 years ago.
Like the but yeah, you know, these movies, like I don't want to see a remake of New Jack City. I don't.
They've stripped the element of surprise and the organicness from these films or whatever. So it's like you say, I can see the hook coming. I know what's about to happen. I know.
Like White Men Cant Jump. You didn't realize when it came out what was happening. But then you realize, think about how like little things that became culture, like we going Sizzler,
exactly.
We going, like all these little moments and little things. I'm going to my car, get my other gun, shoot everybody's ass. Like, is that you, Raymond? No, this ain't me. No. Put down that goddamn. It's all these little things that become things.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna strip the movie that we love of all those things and try to get us to fall in love with some new shit that's the same shit that has none of the organic moments we love, how the fuck could you possibly expect us to want to do this?
Yeah, y'all doing these watered down versions of classic films and y'all wonder why people don't fuck with it.
Dog. I just...
They just remade... They made 2 more Screams recently. I watched those, Scream 5 and Scream 6.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they are all of them Jones on Paramount Plus. Like,
okay.
Like they come out in the movie theater, they come on Paramount Plus the same day, apparently. But yeah, they remade the Screams, which wasn't bad because that was already like kind of like a hokey like.
Apparently, they're redoing The Color Purple.
Listen, let's talk about this.
How do you feel about that?
No.
Yeah,
please no.
Because my thing is like Danny Glover, Oprah, and Whoopi did it as great as it could. You
leave this where it's at.
You cannot remake greatness.
No.
Stop it.
This is like trying to remake Gone with the Wind or something. You
ever see when like an artist drop an album and it's great, and then when they got no other albums,
I'm
10
making
years
part
later,
2.
they make it's
Remember
just,
Raekwon? Only Built for Cuban Links part 2? And I'm like, I'm on song 8. I'm like, this is not the purple tape.
Rick Ross, Port of Miami 2. And it's just like, Port of Miami 2, first week, 9,000. So it's just like, bruh, like
1,000 units.
Jeezy doing the 104 and 109 and all this crazy ass shit.
Like, leave this where it's at, man.
Like, yo, you can't redo greatness. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes you can get something that's as good when you go down the, like, look at Illmatic and Stillmatic.
Right.
Yeah. But it's like...
inspired by, not the same fucking album again.
Right. Like, you just... It's just dumb. And I can't believe that they're, like... But, reality is they've run out of scripts.
Here's that's an amazing point. The secondary point to that is that... There is such a high demand for content because of the streaming wars that's going on right now. And everybody trying to capture market share and take market share from Netflix because they were first to market, that people are just green lighting everything. If you are a filmmaker, a script writer, whatever, I'm here to tell you everything is getting green lit in Hollywood right now. They producing all of this shit because it needs somewhere to land.
Me and Dan about to make this motherfucking movie. You gonna be in it? Yo, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a role for you. You know what I'm saying?
Got a role for
you. I'm a big deal now with this acting shit. I got a role for you. Like, but yeah, like it's the truth. I told you before, it's a couple films that I like. And even when I used to say I want to do a remake of Who's the Man, it's not like I want to do the same exact movie.
Yeah.
Basically the same premise of Who's the Man. I don't want to do me and you as cops and in the barbershop and shooting for oil. And, no, but I have a idea of how to do that like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So, I mean, the thirst for content and the need to just fill people's insatiable, people's insatiable desires to just watch new shit is just leading these, like look at Netflix. Go to your Netflix right now. I guarantee you it's non-Bollywood shows on your fucking home screen that you ain't never watched that they trying to convince you to watch. Because they just pushing shit to you. It's 50 shows from Asia that they trying to influence you or push you to watch. It's a bunch of shit from fucking Spanish language movies or Italian language movies and series that they just pushing you to watch because it's like, yo, we can't keep up with the demand of people and we don't want people offboarding. Fucking Netflix just had their first up quarter in a minute. Like, so now they like, all right, cool. We starting to rebound. People is coming back to the service. We got to just feed people shit. So it's like every few days there's something dropping. This Wanda Sykes special dropping today. Like, I don't give a fuck about Wanda Sykes, but we gotta just produce this and put this shit out. We did a Monique special.
Yeah, I'm cool for the Monique special. I heard good things. No, I heard bad things about it.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
But I got nothing else.
As usual, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. We just hit 11,000 subs on YouTube. I want to clap that up for us. Our smart video is still trending. Like I said, it's at about 35,000 views. That joint was sitting like just at a touch under 9,000 about 2.5 weeks ago. So shout out to that video picking up steam. Shout out to Smart, man. He got his No Labels tour seminar coming up soon in New York City. I'm going to try to make sure I pull up for that, man. Other than that, if you're not on Patreon, get on Patreon. We're going to be, I got an alert while we was recording. We're able to issue free trials now. So I'm going to give everybody that's on the fence, that's not sure, a free trial into the freaking content. I don't know how long it is. I got to look into the details. Hopefully that'll onboard some of y'all. Y'all can stick around and lock in with your boys.
Trust me, they're going to go in there and listen to half a show, and if shooting $3, I don't know what I got to do. Motherfucker's crazy, man. But I got nothing else. I'm out this bitch.
Peace.